everyone. My name is Heather Augustyniak. I'm your host today for the Life After Cancer Patient Education Series here at Baptist MD Anderson. We're so excited to be able to introduce Lisa Bradford to you. She's an integral part of our Women's for Her program in corporate health. She's a RN wellness coach, and I'll let her introduce herself and get started with the presentation. We'll reserve questions to the end of the presentation today.
Hello all. I am very excited to be asked to present for you. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Lisa. I have been a nurse, a personal trainer, and a health coach for 30 years. And I can tell you, I have such a diverse skill set. I worked at Baptist Health for when I was a new nurse and worked cardiac neuro and neurosurgery. And let me tell you, during that time at the hospital, I loved my patients and I learned so much from them. But there was like a burning desire in me to actually work more in prevention, health, and wellness. Every day I walked into work, that was my dream job. And I had no idea who would ever pay me to do that kind of work, but that was years ago. And I got fortunate because my family and I, we ended up moving overseas, and because of my job, my husband's job, and I ended up working for an international company, working my dream job, which was in health and wellness. And I did that for 13 years. And I was so fortunate because I worked with every nationality you can think of. And I learned so much about people at that job. And then as I was doing all this, I'm like going, how in the world am I ever going to do this back in Jacksonville? And I was fortunate that I saw a job post with Baptist, and they needed a RN wellness coach for the For Her program, Women's Health Strategy, along with corporate health. And I have been working my dream job for the past 2.5 years. Just to let you know a little bit about me, I have an interesting background because I do like to challenge myself. And as you can see on my bio, that I have done some crazy things. I have ran some marathons in my life. I have trekked up to Everest Base Camp and above, Kalapatar, and then I also climbed Kilimanjaro back in 2018. I don't know, I never started out like that. So the topic that I'm going to be speaking on today with the behavior change and finding your why, hopefully you'll get to know me more as the presentation goes on. And so anyway, I'm looking forward to present on, oh, sorry. All right. So I hope you can see my presentation, and it's change ain't easy, find your why. And I love this picture because seeing this woman, I'm sure if we would have seen a picture of her on the other side of the brick wall, she was overwhelmed, right? And she's like going, I just don't even know how I'm going to do this. And as she went through the process of change and succeeded in her goal, you can see her on the other side. And she has busted through that brick wall with a sledgehammer. She looks successful, she looks triumphant, and she looks like she is on top of the world. And I feel like with many of us, maybe we've been this woman, right? So let me go into sorry, technology, right? All right, objectives. So we're going to be talking about what I'm going to be teaching you today is why is change difficult? The importance of setting goals, the importance of finding your why, tips to increase your chances of success, 5 tips to stay motivated to reach a goal, the 6 stages of behavioral change, and putting it all together. How is it going to look once you make these changes? So the overview, number 1 is why is change so difficult? I'm sure all of you can identify with me that it's scary. It's sometimes embarrassing when you try something new and you fail. It's overwhelming, right? And sometimes we don't even know how to begin the process of feeling better or even making changes in our lives. Maybe we've tried to change a behavior in the past and was unsuccessful, which can lead to frustration and disappointment. And then eventually you just give up. And also there's procrastination. It's against human nature to even like change. And so I'm telling you, with a good plan in place and a good support system, you can take it on. And like I said, I love this subject because I have worked so many times with my patients and clients over the years. And every time we talk about this subject, and it's an amazing journey. So my background, I told you I'm a nurse, I'm a personal trainer, and I'm a health coach also. And how can health coaches help? And here's some basic tools that we have is that we're an educator. We have resources. And along with that, we are a support system for you. And we're that accountability partner. With my tool set, with being a nurse and a personal trainer, I just find, I enjoy so much working with patients and I see them at different angles. Just to let you know about my first session with a patient, let's say, or a client, if it was a personal training, I always sat down and got to know them. I wanted to find exactly about their health history, maybe their past successes, and maybe not failures. I never like to call it a failure, but learning experiences. And at that point, that is when I tried to build that rapport, that comfort, so the client feels comfortable with me, and they get to know me, right? At that point, it's amazing to see the client open up and start talking out loud. And sometimes when you talk out loud, you're learning a lot about yourself, right? So thinking about all this, another thing that we do not do is we don't tell you what to do. We're there, like I said, to support you, to help you through the process of change and a resource, but you're the commander. So setting goals, that's number 1, right? Why is this important? Because it ensures efforts are in the right place. It focuses your goals, so they're achievable. Nobody wants to waste time, right? It's enough, and especially if you're not completely crazy about what you're doing, most people just want to get to the finish line. And then it also reduces relapses. And so looking at those stumbling areas or those obstacles that you might encounter. And a tool that we use is making your goals SMART. So SMART, I'm not sure, probably many of you have used it, maybe in business, personally, but specific. You never want your goal to be vague. You want it to be specific and measurable. You have to be able to measure it so you know if you've been successful or not. Attainable. You want to make sure that this is something you can achieve. Is it too big? And maybe you need to break it into smaller goals to reach that big goal. Relevant. Is this your goal? Or is this something that maybe somebody else pushed upon you? So that is something that none of us want, right? It needs to come within. And then time bound. Is this something that that, let's say you want to lose weight and you go, okay, 2 years from now, or if it's a large amount of weight, but if it's only 20 pounds, you need to give yourself some parameters so you get it done and you're not dawdling, right? So here's an example of a SMART goal. I'm sorry, I'm using weight loss, but we could use all different types of scenarios. But I want to lose 10 pounds in 3 months by walking 5 days per week for 30 minutes. So you have a very specific goal. You also have measurable, you have time bound. This is something that's feasible that you can do. And it's relevant, right? Because this is something that a client would want to do. So, all right, we talked about health coaching. We talked about setting goals, the why, finding your why. This is so important. And it speaks about your purpose. And this is what's going to drive you towards your goal. The why is just honestly, it's almost the most important element. This is what's going to help you during your time of struggles. You just want to give up. But if you keep your why front and centered and believe in it, it will keep you going. Make it personal and have true meaning. So this cannot be somebody else's goal or why of why you should do it. Maybe your spouse is kind of nudging you along and this isn't really what you want to do. But so it has to be personal and it has to have true meaning for you. And if you have your why in place, then you're going to have success, a much more of a success with your goal. So simple tips to help create your why. Well, I said decide. It's that simple. And it kind of is in a way. It does take some time, but if you sit there and you start thinking about your goal of why you want to do it, it's like brainstorming. I wrote down, you can type it, write it, video it, whatever you need to do, whatever works for you. I can tell you that I'm kind of old-fashioned where I like just a pen and paper. I love just writing down, brainstorming ideas. If you're more technical, like the tech thing where you like your phone or laptop, you can do that too. And something that I think that helps with this is visualizing the change and what it would look like. And if you can create that detailed picture in your mind. So let's talk about weight loss again. Okay, what if you've put on 20 pounds and you are not happy with yourself? You want to take this weight off and you've decided that you start digging through pictures of the past and you see yourself in the dress that you want to wear again or the suit that you want to wear again. And right then and there, you're seeing yourself in this picture. Maybe you get a little disappointed in yourself, maybe down even, but then also turn that around, that negativity, and think of it in a positive way and say, this is how I see myself. I want to wear this because my son's getting married or whatever. And it will help you to stay centered on why you're doing this. And like I said, brainstorming your motivations for wanting to achieve the goal. Maybe back then you didn't have knee problems. Maybe you didn't have back problems. Maybe you felt better about yourself. And all these are good motivations towards your goal. and it will keep you centered. I even tell people to, write it down and put it on your mirror, put a reminder on your calendar of, let's say you have a discouraging time of the day, 3 o'clock or whatever, where you seem to fall off the wagon, or, and this will help you to stay on task. So here's an example of a why. And I'm using now blood pressure. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but my physician told me that I have stage 1 hypertension. He advised me to lose weight by introducing healthy lifestyle changes. Losing weight will help me from being on medications in the near future. So this person, the doctor has advised the patient that they're diagnosed with stage 1 hypertension. Told the person that the doctor wants for this patient to start doing more healthy lifestyle changes to get some weight off. And in order to do this, this is going to help them from getting on blood pressure medication. So this is their why. So what can increase your chances of success? I love having a change team. Change team is that support system that you can count on. That can be a colleague at work, could be your best friend, could be your spouse, could be your kids. It could be a registered dietitian, health coach, personal trainer. All of these people is a part of that change team for you, that support system. So this is what definitely is going to help you to stay on task and succeed with your goal. Another thing is making a contract with yourself. I used to do this with my clients, with personal training, and even with my health coaching clients, where I told you that my consultation, my first appointments with clients is the most important, because that is when you really get to know that person and what they desire, what they want to accomplish. And thinking about this, when I met with my clients, my personal training clients, most of them wanted to either be healthy, feel healthier, and they also most of them wanted to lose some weight. And so I would sit there and I would have them fill out the blanks on this. And so it's like, today I will stop or start blank because of this reason. So if you go back to the patient that does not want to be on blood pressure meds, that is the because. And today I will start exercising 5 days a week for 30 minutes because of that reason. So this can help you with your journey of behavior change. Now, we've talked about, goal setting, your why. You have to be motivated. There's no way you're ever going to get to your goal if you don't keep motivation a part of this. And there's 5 tips that I can share with you that, first of all, finding your why, right? Number 1. And a material reward. This is something that maybe somebody's going to pay you money, or a gift certificate, something like that, to recognize that you have accomplished your goal. So that's like dangling the carrot, right? Then personal gain. What are you going to learn from this? This is honestly one of my favorite motivators. I love to learn through the process of the journey. To me is just so cool. And I love to see my clients go through this, because you're a different person when you get to that goal. It is about succeeding in that goal, but you have changed from the day you started to the end product. You're not that same person anymore. So it's a lovely way of looking at your accomplishment. and then feeling of accomplishment, right? Everybody wants to feel good about themselves. And it's nice when you can keep yourself motivated, just to get you going through, just keep you going through the process. So feeling good about yourself. And then this is a good one, a step closer to your bigger goal. Now, again, I'm going to use exercise, but I can tell you that this has happened to me in my life. Way back, I was not a runner. I was a walker, and I loved to walk. And it was interesting. It was 25 years ago. I was at the gym, and I was there with a friend of mine, and he goes, and I had a son, a young son, and he goes, "Why do you always walk?" And I go, "Well, I don't know. I'm tired." He goes, "Why don't you run more or run?" And I go, "Well, I don't want to run." And he goes, but then I thought about it going, if I ran more, that means I would finish up my workout quicker because I was leaving my baby in daycare, which made me kind of confused because I felt sad that, I'm a working mom and now I have my baby in daycare so I can work out. Anyway, so I listened to him. And so here and there, I started to walk, run. And then he goes to me, and then I finally got into like where I could run constantly. And this was a process, right? And then he goes, "Why don't you run a 5K with me?" So I did that. So that was a goal, right? I did a 10K. I did the river run. I thought he was nuts, 9.6 miles, right? And then he goes to me, once I did a couple river runs, he goes, "Why don't you run a marathon with me?" And I go, 26.2 miles. That is just crazy. Believe it or not, a couple of years later, I ended up running a marathon. And so I can tell you that I didn't even think about it, but it just, like I said too, is that you change during this process. You're not that person you used to be before. So, and then making it fun. You have to. There is no way you're going to keep on going to achieve a goal if you don't make it fun. And if you don't like the task, you need to somehow make it fun. I told you that I work with people like a lot of people don't like to exercise. And so I try to make it fun for them. And I go, okay, what can you do to walk? Because walk is a lifetime sport. What can we do for you that you can actually think this is fun? And so I go, walk with your family, walk with your spouse, walk with your best friend, call your best friend, put some good music on. All these things can help you get through the process. Changing your approach, and don't give up. Trying a different approach isn't giving up. A lot of times people think that you have to do it the same way all the time. I want you to start focusing on the goal itself and don't focus so much on just the one-way process. I use this again with my personal training clients. Maybe they decided, okay, I'm just going to walk every day. It gets boring. You need to start thinking about how you can change it up so you can stay motivated. So, I'll go, have you thought about getting on the bike? Have you thought about the pool, yoga, just jazzing up your routine so you can stay motivated. Number 4 is recognizing your progress. This is definitely important. So you want to think about tracking your progress or recognizing your progress. So tracking is just simple. Let's say, again, that you want to lose 20 pounds. And so you decide every Saturday morning, you're going to weigh yourself. That's documenting your progress, right? So you're going to write down your weight. But if you recognize your progress, this is going to help you so much more. Because what's going to happen is you can weigh yourself every Saturday morning, But along with that, you're going to think about, okay, I've lost a total of 10 pounds. And so my goal is 20. That means I'm halfway to the finish line. You could even take it a step further and think about, you know what, I'm going to go into the closet. I'm going to try on a couple pair of pants, and I'm going to find out that I have dropped 2 pant sizes. That's amazing, right? And that is so much more of a motivator than just tracking. And then the last one is rewarding yourself. Now, I think all of us like to be rewarded. So for me, I can tell you that the small rewards, working on a project. Let's say I'm at the computer, and my reward might be taking a 5-minute walk. I just want to get outside. I need to rejuvenate. I need to get some fresh ideas, because I need to now get on and catch up with my emails. A large reward, you lost your 20 pounds. And you know what, you've decided that your big reward was that you're going to go to a spa with your best friend, and you guys are going to get a couple services done together. You're going to go on a trip. This is all great. Or going to the wedding and wearing that dress or that suit that you wanted to wear for your son's wedding. So let's talk about the 6 stages of behavioral change. And I think that many of you, or maybe not, but this model is called the Trans-Theoretical Model of Change. And this is by James Prochaska. And what I like about this model is that there is like a gradual commitment by the participant to accomplish the goal. And there's even a place for relapse, because that is going to happen. You almost have to count on that there's a possibility of relapse. So, and what you're going to find out that the beginning of the stages, that is when there's no commitment, acknowledgement from the participant. And then as you go on with the model, that is when you're really thinking of doing it, being in an action mode. So let's talk about pre-contemplation. That's number 1, stage 1. And this person is in denial, not interested. There's no problem. So let's go back to the example of the patient that goes and sees the primary care doctor, and the physician says that the patient has stage 1 hypertension. This patient walking out of the physician wants this patient to start exercising, eating healthier, whole foods, not processed foods, to lose some weight. And the patient walks out of there and just shakes his head and goes, nope, I'm not interested. I feel fine. Everything's good. You know what? I'm just, I don't know. Maybe I won't go back. Who knows where the patient's at mentally. So the second stage is contemplation. And this is when you start having the pros and cons, and you're thinking that, there could be something to what this physician said. Maybe they called up their mom and dad and found out that they're both on blood pressure medication. And so they start thinking that this is actually a good idea, that they do need to think about this. The third stage is preparation. And this is when you're really doing your homework. You're maybe surfing on the internet. You're trying to learn more about maybe fitness, activity. You're looking at how to eat healthier. You're investing in going to appointments. Maybe you've made a health coaching appointment, or a personal training appointment, or an appointment with a registered dietitian. So you're seeking out more information. and you're actually getting ready to make the big leap. And maybe you've already started a walking program, but not consistent. So the action is the next stage. And that is when you have decided, you know what, you're putting this in action, you're going to make a commitment with this. You're going to your personal training appointments. You're going through the motion of exercising. You're trying to make better decisions with what you put in your mouth. So that is all into action. Maintenance, congratulations. That is a great place to be. That is when you've kind of gotten through, you're learning about obstacles. You've been in doing this healthy living style for 6 months now. You're getting better at it, and it's actually becoming a habit now where you feel better, you understand what you should be doing. And then, oh boy, relapse. I'm telling you, I have worked with a lot of people in this situation. When I worked overseas, people go on vacation for 1 month, and they don't, they just come back and they're frustrated. They don't feel good about themselves. And it just keeps going. It's something that you have to learn to just get back into it. So I love this model. It's really good information. So tips to be successful with behavior change. First of all, there is no single solution that works for everyone. We're all unique and we all have different goals. We're all in different areas of our lives where we're just trying to strive. And being uncomfortable is not fun, right? So you just have to keep plugging along. Try several different techniques, a trial and error strategy. I told you that we do learn from our, I don't like to say mistakes, but we do learn from the process and we learn how to perfect it better. And then finding new ways to stay motivated. This is key. Nothing worse than getting like a dry spell and you just don't want to do it anymore. So you have to do this in order to keep yourself on task. There's no simple formula to predict why some people are more successful with behavior change. I'm sure you have that friend that just seems to, they decide they're going to do something and they just do it. That's okay. And then maybe you got friends that have tried numerous times and maybe they're still in contemplation, or they're in prep and they never make it past. So that's okay. Behavior change is an ongoing process rather than a single event. And there's so many factors that influence it. I can tell you with weight loss, there's so many factors that influence a goal like that. It could be family, not having enough time with your family, maybe you work, the time management thing. It's just, there's so much. Maybe you have an injury to your knee. There's a lot to this. And then don't give up. Look at the roadblocks and reassess the situation. Key 3, readiness to change. Do you have the resources and knowledge to make a lasting change successful? We're all, like, back to that model, we're all in different places and you have to know yourself. You need to be a planner. Unfortunately, people that don't like to plan, this is a time when you really need to be a planner. And the more organized you are with this, you are going to be more successful. So having your resources, having your people, your experts to help you, your change team to help you through. And then barriers to change. Is there anything preventing you from change? There's plenty. You know what? Life is messy, right? So it's thinking about those barriers and understanding them so then you can get through them. And then likelihood of relapse. What might trigger a return to a former behavior? There's plenty of those too. And you have to know yourself best. So here, I would like to share with you some Baptist Health coaching sites. There's one in Mandarin, it's on San Jose, and it's the Williams Family YMCA. Then there's one in Ponte Vedra. And just to let you know that Baptist Health, we partner with the Y, and we do have some wellness facilities inside. And so these are some of the places, that we have around town. Riverside, so we have one downtown, the Winston Family YMCA. Northside, Johnson Family YMCA. Baptist North has a wellness place. And then our newest member to the list is the Nocatee Health Place Center. It's beautiful. I have been there, and it's honestly amazing. And one place that I did not share with you is the JCA, and that's on San Jose. And Baptist does partner with the JCA. Let me tell you a bit about the Baptist Health for Her program. That is the program I work with. And it's about women's health. So sorry, guys, we do kind of zero in more on women's health with this program. And it's a unique collection of wellness services focused on women of all ages. And as you know, all right, you could be 20 years old, or you could be 65, 75 years old. We're all different. We're a different stage in life. We have new challenges, we have old challenges, but everyone is unique with those age groups. And with the For Her program, we try to embrace all the ages. And we do have a lot of education. So with the program, we have personalized healthcare navigation. Myself, I'm the RN wellness coach. And so you would be meeting with me. The For Her, especially events and education, we used to, before COVID, we did more on-site events. And now with COVID, we're doing more Facebook Lives. Please look at us on Baptist Health For Her Facebook Live. We have archived many presentations that I think you would be interested in. We've talked about cardiovascular health, stress management, talked about healthy food, like cooking. We've done a yoga special. We did do, in May, we did a series on the blue zones. And I don't know if you know much about that, but there's the 5 societies throughout the world where there's centurions. You know, there's a influx of centurions in these 5 societies, and they share 9 pillars of just of kind of similar thoughts. And I did a presentation on purpose. And but anyway, it's wonderful, and you could actually go back and look at that. If you would like to look further into the For Her program, you can email us at forher@bmcjax.com, and you can also look at the following link, and that will get you right to the For Her Wellness resource page. And like I said, the Facebook Lives are a great way to see the different presentations that we have on our page. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the presentation and questions.
Thank you, Lisa. We have a few questions that came through. One is, I don't like to exercise, but I know I should do it for my health. What would be the best recommendation for a person like myself?
Yes, you know, I have worked with many people in this situation, and in fact, my husband is one of those. So I live with one, and I do get it. Not everybody is an exerciser, and what I like to do is I like to get to know my clients. I don't force anybody to do anything because it's just not going to stick. And so you have to find out what the client is willing to do. They're seeking help for a reason. And so I try to make it fun. I believe in walking. Walking is a lifelong sport. You can do it till you're 105, 110 years old. And it doesn't matter how fast you go, you're just moving. And so I think getting it fun, having it fun, music, whatever it takes to have you do it. I think being accountable, so working with a professional, like either a personal trainer, health coach. And then I think too is keeping yourself on a schedule, because it's very easy for life to get in the way. You have every excuse in the world not to follow through. And so I always tell my clients that you have to look at your schedule, like on Sundays or Saturdays, and plan it for the week, the next week. And you have to plug in those times. It's like a date with yourself, an appointment with yourself. You would not miss a doctor's appointment. So it's kind of like it's treating it like that, especially at the beginning, until you've gone through a couple months and where you can feel that you aren't going to mess up. So that's what it's about. And it's changing up. You're doing yoga, keeping it fresh. So does that help?
Absolutely, I'm sure it does. Last question for today. This person seems to have trouble with relapses and has difficulty, let's just say, getting back into the saddle. She gets frustrated with herself and disappointed when she doesn't follow through with her goal. What can she do to prepare herself for these types of situations?
Great question. I have worked, like I said, with so many people, and myself too. It's hard to be perfect, right? I give that up. You have to. Sometimes there's reasons for that you don't follow through, but maybe there are reasons too that you didn't. And I honestly feel like too there's a pattern. I like for myself, I know that like going on vacation kind of messes me up. I know that song and dance. So I'm prepared for it when I encounter it again. And I think that's what you have to do is I think you have to know what your weaknesses are, your barriers. And, maybe you need to get up earlier. I hate to say it. I know that with myself, if I don't get it done in the morning, as my day goes on, there's a million things that start stacking up and it's just more difficult. So I think it's being forgiving. So you have to know yourself. You have to set yourself up so you don't fail. And let's say like somebody that travels, let's say you've gotten yourself on an exercise program and all of a sudden, you find out from your boss that now you have to travel for a while. It's a lot because, dealing with travel and then trying to keep going with what you've done. I say you have to start packing, accordingly, either you start doing virtual sessions, exercise sessions in your hotel room. You only stay at hotels that have a gym. You bring a stretch band with you and you've got kind of like your little routine going. So I think there's ways that you can counteract that, but it's about planning again. And if you're, fly the seat of your pants type of girl, that's going to get you in trouble. You really have got to think through it and be ready because it is going to happen again.
Awesome. Lastly, any recommendations specifically for cancer survivors and finding their why?
I think that I myself have not been on that journey, but what I can say is that I think looking at your goals, whatever goal it is, if it's about getting out of bed or it's about, I don't know, trying to take your dog for a walk, it's breaking it down manageable steps and digging deep and finding out what your true why is. I believe that is such a personal journey. But I think that finding your why, again, you can use the tools that I shared with you. No why, no goal, everything is so individual. And I think that you got to start out small, if that's where you're at. If you need to seek out professional help to maybe help you with that journey, you can reach out to a health coach. I would say, I don't know where you're at, maybe a trainer, but I think that a health coach would be a good person, or even a therapist to get you going. And another thing too, I think, is surrounding yourself with positivity and with the right people. I think that's huge. I know we all have maybe people that we can only take in small doses, and then we have other people that we learn a lot from. So I think that surrounding yourself with those people will also help you, but you have to develop your own why. It can't be your husband's or your best friend's why. That is personal, and no why is small, right? And it can always change.
Lisa, thank you so much for presenting this valuable topic today. Anything else you would like to share with everyone before we depart?
You can tell that I'm very passionate about this topic, because I think it just affects us so much when we feel bad about ourselves if we don't succeed in whatever goal we want to do. And I think that starting somewhere is the key, and not treating, little goals, and finding your personal why of why you want to do it. I promise you, if you start out small and you look back on this day that you've heard this presentation, and then you look at yourself 1 month later, 2 months, 1 year later, you are not going to be the same person. And it is such a cool experience when you can reflect back and you can see how far you've come. But you got to start today.
Well, thank you so much, everyone. This presentation will be available on our YouTube series. Check out the Baptist MD Anderson Survivorship webpage for that link. Have a great day.